All right, good evening. Hi, teammates. Hope all's well. Hey, this is Derek Parker, Regional Vice President. Hey, this session I'm going to talk about is going to be on just getting a license. So congratulations if you just got your license. So proud of you. You are a stud. You are super wonderful. You are awesome. You are everything. You got your life license. That is a big deal, and you should be very, very excited. You should be happy about what you did. That's an amazing accomplishment. I wish everyone coming through the door, I wish they can say the same thing as far as getting a license, but you've done a big thing. You've proven that you have the skills and the gifts in order to get to the next level. And getting a license is so fun. It's so amazing. Now the question becomes is how many other people can you help get a license? Again, let me repeat that. The question is how many other people can you help get licensed? That's called building a team. So if you can get a lot of people on your team licensed, oh my God, you can incredibly impact not only your business, but you can impact other people's business in a very, very short period of time. So getting licensed, what I want to do today is I want to talk to you a little bit about some basic tips as far as what you should do next. I know a lot of times people get a license and they think all of a sudden, man, I'm competent. I know exactly what to do. I know how to go about doing it. Everything's just going to come to me. Well, I wish that were true, but that is not going to be the case whatsoever. So the whole objective here is really to help you elevate your competency, to really help you focus on some things that you should be doing now that you got a license, because this is just a baby step, to get to the next step. So really, getting a license is a big feat. We're really excited for you, but there's some other things that we want to do and some things that you should be focusing on to really get to the next step. So if definitely you want to take notes on this. I believe that, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So you got to make sure that you're ready to jot down some notes. So what's next? A couple things I want to talk about. Well, the number one thing that's really going to help you in this business as far as elevating your competency is going to be how many appointments have you gone on? Well, if you follow my protocol in getting started, the Fast Start Planner, ideally you should have went on minimally between 10 to 15 appointments in the course of your training, meaning you had no license, you got started, you've seen some people, you've seen different scenarios, you've seen people close business, you've seen your trainer recruit people onto your team, you've seen that process evolve. That is the ideal way that it should have went. Now, I don't know, you may be, sitting here, maybe you didn't do those things, maybe for whatever reason, you didn't go in the field, you didn't go on training appointments, maybe you just got your license. There's still another way. So there's A or B, depending on where you came in, you still need to go get that experience under your belt in order for you to become competent. So we know that 1 hour in the field is equivalent to 10 hours in the classroom. In other words, it's hard for you to learn all the information and the concepts, waiver of premium, terminal illness benefit, exactly how to help somebody just in a classroom. You have to get in the field. You have to be able to go see people. You have to learn this. You have to make basic mistakes. You have to learn how to overcome basic objections. You're going to learn some of those things. Early on, I had to get my lunch handed to me. So what that meant was I had to mess up in order to grow up. I had to get better. So the only way that I learned on getting better is you have to get on between 15 to 20 training appointments. If you didn't go on 15 to 20 training appointments, it's not too late. You need to get independent where you could go on 15 to 20 training appointments, and as a result of going on 15 to 20 more appointments, your competency is going to get better. You're going to get better in terms of learning basic objections. You're going to get better in terms of learning how to close, really how to, when someone says, I want to think about it, you're going to learn some of those things. Now, of course, you can listen to all the tapes. You can, listen to speakers on YouTube. You can do all those things, but it's until you make that decision to go on 15 to 20 appointments by yourself, your competency is not going to elevate. You're not going to get better. So it's important that you have to go on those 15 to 20 appointments If you haven't done that, you need to go do that. And if you have done that, then you need to go on another 10 to 15 appointments to begin to elevate your skill set. It wasn't until I became independent in the business, I was told early on, hey, do my top 25 name list. I was told also that I would pre-qualify to my district leader promotion. I got that out of the way. I was also told that I would get somewhere between 100 to 150 referrals through the course of my training. I did that. I was told that it's important for me to learn how to set appointments and master setting appointments on my way to district leader. So I did those things. So that's important to learn those things while you're going to the next level. So hopefully now that you got licensed, if you are a district leader, I want to congratulate you on your district leader promotion, because now you're at a 50% contract, and that just means an average life insurance transaction is $1,000 a year. 50% of that, you're going to make $500 per transaction. Man, I'm jacked up. I'm excited about that. And it's so easy to make, $1, $2, $3 grand in this business when you understand that you can do that by helping anywhere between 4 to 6 families per month personally. So now that you gotten licensed, some couple things I really want to highlight. Number one, you need to have some type of electronic device. I think that's going to be important. It's hard for you to help people long range just by doing the business on paper. You need to have an electronic device, whether it's a iPad or a laptop. You need to have some type of a device. Doesn't necessarily have to be an iPad. You can go to Staples. They have those tablets. You can get them for like 60, 70, 80 bucks, maybe invest $100. Not the top of the line, but you can get maybe in between, but something, because our business is electronic. We do electronic IBAs. We do electronic life insurance applications. Also, the debt products like Debt Watchers is done online. So you got to have some type of electronic device, because that's going to help you in terms of really being able to execute the business. So you want to be properly equipped as far as when you go on the field. You want to have some type of electronic device. So invest in yourself, invest in your business. Go spend the money to get that done. It's worth it. That's one sale that you can do to really pay yourself back for that. So that's not a big deal. Definitely go get that done. You should also, number two, you want to have the right presentation. Again, you want to have the right presentation. We put out a master copy in our office of having the right presentation. We have a color copy of the presentation. You can certainly connect with us, and we'll email that to you, but you should have a copy of that color presentation. You want to go out, on appointments being properly equipped, having the right, information. So having a presentation is so important. So, going on field training appointments, I'm sure you've learned the presentation. So now you want to have the color presentation. You want to have the 9 or 10 pager that we utilize. So it's in color. So you can basically, have that. You should master the presentation. Again, you should master the presentation. You should already have that down where you can sit down from scratch. You got a license. You should know exactly how to take someone from explaining what we do to really taking them to how do we get started? How do we get in, how do we get going into business? How do we close business? You should have the master down as far as doing a presentation. You have to practice. So you have to practice in terms of, while I was getting trained, I was practicing. My practice was, I was told by my trainer, get on 15 to 20 appointments and I'll learn the presentation. So probably about the 4th or 5th presentation, I was taking over the presentation because I knew it. I said, wow, I can learn this. I can do this. So when I got my license, it quickly evolved in terms of, doing the presentation. So you definitely want to have that down to really run that. If you've already at a district leader promotion, well, when's your next division leader promotion? When are you getting promoted next? What's next? It's got to come. You got to have a goal date as far as, hey, what's next? What do I need to do to go to district division leader? You're not going to camp out at district and say, hallelujah, I made it. You want to get to the next level. So When's your next date for your division leader promotion? You need 2 district leaders on your team. What other recruits do you have coming up that you have developed or that you're working on developing that they're watching you? They're getting their training out of the way. They're on appointments. They're seeing things. They're watching how this Primerica evolves, and they're taking it to another level. So you got to work on getting your division leader promotion. So this is essential now that you got licensed. It's all about a next. It's what's the next level. I can tell you this. I never ever struggled in Primerica with a license in terms of making money. You should make money every month in this business. I believe with a license at a district leader contract, minimally, you should make no less than $1,000 a month. A district leader contract, if you're working and you're helping people and you're doing the right things, getting in front of 2 to 3 families a week, getting referrals, doing the basics, no question, slam dunk, $1,000 to $1,500 a month. I mean, you can do that on a district leader contract. It's not that hard. And you just essentially have to work at it to really get that accomplished. So what I'm going to do lastly is I'm just going to go through some basic fundamentals that I think are essential for people who get a license, because oftentimes people get a license and sometimes we kind of think, well, we sit around, we got a license, what to do next, how to go about doing it. Well, I believe there's some core fundamentals that you should have down or should be working towards to get accomplished now that you're licensed. Well, the first fundamental, I mentioned it earlier, you should know how to do a presentation from start to finish. You should not be a licensed person and have someone else presenting for you. That should be a slam dunk, essentially, where you know exactly what to say, how to go about saying it, how to do a basic presentation that overcomes objections in the body of your presentation. If you don't have that down, we put out a CD on how to present. You need to listen to that, 20, 15, 30, 40 times so you can get that down and begin to incorporate exactly some of the things that you need to do to become more effective. Number 2, you should know how to set appointments. Again, you should know how to set appointments. How can you control your income? How can you control making an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month if you can't control your activity? So you should know exactly how to set appointments. So we put out a packet on all the core fundamentals of setting appointments. You should learn that. You should have that down. I should be able to say, hey, come sit in front of the room and set an appointment. Don't ask me nothing. Don't say nothing. Just set an appointment. You should be able to, boom, let that resonate and know exactly what to say, how to go about saying it. So you should know whether it's talking to maybe a prospect, how to get them into the door as far as an interview. You should know exactly how to, basically overcome some basic objections. You should have down how to set appointments. There's no excuse for you having a license and not knowing how to set appointments. Thirdly, you should know how to do an orientation. You should know how to do a basic orientation or a fast start planner. If somebody's getting started in this business today, you should be able to sit down with that person and say, hey, look, Frank, what I'm going to do is really take you through the basics of getting you to the next level. Let me kind of find out some of your goals and dreams. And we have a fast start manual. You should be able to go through that and outline exactly, what exactly that person needs to learn or to become more effective in order to get to district leader and get licensed and get trained quickly. You should know, fourthly, you should learn how to close a life insurance application. There's a lot of different, tapes online on Primerica Online. You can go to learn the different concepts of the different types of life insurance. What's the difference between term life and whole life? You should be able to draw an illustration and really talk about the basics of how they differ. You should be able to know exactly if I do an application online, hopefully, if you're in the market, if you're married, home, and kids, you should have already done your own life application. So you should know and have some familiarity in terms of how to go about doing a life insurance application. These are basic fundamentals that we learn in the course of our training. So you should be able to do those things now that you got a license. If you're not there yet, then go do a practice application. Learn exactly how to do a life app. Or let's go see 4 to 5 people that you know that maybe you didn't see in the course in your training, so you can see and observe an application being done in real time. Number 5, you should know how to do an IBA or an independent business application. You should know exactly how to take someone through the basics of doing an application. You should know the turbo version, and then you should know also the paper version. So preferably, if we're doing applications out of the office for speed, I'm going to always have a paper application on hand. That way I can kind of effectively take that person through an application real fast. Sometimes the application online may not be as effective, for time constraints. Something about the electronic process that sometimes people are not comfortable with, so you should have a paper as a backup. You should also have a paper life insurance application on hand. Well, what happens if you sit down with somebody and you're starting a right business and your electronics go out? Your turbo's gone, or maybe their wireless blurts out. You should have those things in place. So definitely carry life applications with you. You should have also, if you haven't done so, you need to have a planner. Okay, this is a planner. This is a planner, and you can get the planner, a 90-day planner, through Primerica Online. You go on Primerica Online, and this is going to be a strategic 90-day planner of exactly how to plan out your day, your weeks, your month. How are you going to be successful in this business? You need to have a calendar on hand in order to learn how to be effective. And now that you have a license, to much is given, much is required. So you have to get up to speed fast in terms of learning some of these things. No one's gonna spoon feed you and say, hey, look, there's gonna be a training on every little thing to get equipped. But having a calendar, was something important to me early on, because I worked in a pharmaceutical business, so I was seeing clients and physicians, so I kind of had to keep track of my time and knowing like where I was going to be, and each hour mattered. So that same thing matters here in Primerica. You got to really be on top of that. And so a thing I would recommend lastly is for you to get some type of bag, maybe like a business portfolio of some sort, where you can kind of keep your things condensed. You want to keep like maybe your iPad. You may want to have your presentation book. You want to have your planner. Just some of those things like condensed in like a professional type of planner, or some type of bag where you can kind of keep track of your things. You want to look the part. You want to look professional. You don't want to walk in someone's house and you got 15 pieces of paper kind of going all over. You definitely want to stay on top of those things. So hey, congratulations again. We are so excited that you got your license. My promise, or my hope for you, is that you would spend the time to really navigate through some of the things that I talked about. You would spend the time to really plug into trainings, preferably the Saturday trainings, now that you have a license, because now that you have a license, you've graduated to our licensing training, where you can begin to learn a lot of the different concepts of term versus whole life, basic objections, a lot of things that we go over, with licensed associates. So it's very, very important that you get up to speed as far as really some of the basic things. Even though I was learning those things every week, I knew that when I was going on appointments, I was going to be bringing information into the office that I've learned throughout the course of the week, through my experiences, my trials, and my tribulations, that I could be more effective at. So I can learn and really increase my competency at a faster rate by simultaneously going on appointments. So hey, work hard to get on those 15 to 20 appointments. That's the only difference between you being paid little money and big money. You just haven't done it yet. You're going to have to really get out there. You're going to have to get independent. You're going to have to really learn those things and really get up to speed. I know you can do it. I can think early on, hey, I was a little nervous, but the more I did, the better I got, and so can you. So I just wanted to tell you, hey, welcome to the license team. Please continue to send some of your successes through. We love the successes, your highlights of what you're doing, and some of the stories that you're relating to. And we want to just say, hey, we wish you continued success in your future. We know your division leader promotion is next. And we know you're going to do some incredible things as our next upcoming regional vice president. So God bless you. And hey, we want to say we'll talk to you.